What is up, YouTube? This is Kai, Cannon, and Carson from arguably Georgia Sports. Carson is new. He's our ACC Florida State insider. Um, so we're gonna start. We're doing the ACC Coastal today, and we're gonna start with the Virginia Cavaliers, the I believe last place team in the conference last year. So they're starting out with an easy game against Richmond. I think they win that game, and then a tough game against Oregon. What do you think of this?
Oregon's always a decent team. They have been good in the past. I think Virginia's going to put up a really good fight, but Oregon still pulls out with the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I'm not too high on Virginia. Next up is UConn, who I believe before we started this video, you said that you thought UConn would win. I see that. Well, not win, but come really close. I think Virginia runs away with this game.
I don't think they're going to be that easy. I still think UConn's going to come close, but can't win.
Next up, we got the Chippewas of Central Michigan. A good team. Bull appearances. Not a team that can beat Virginia. Virginia will win this game. Then up against Duke. Blue Devils have had some very good years in the past. Well, not very good historically, but good in recent history. Who do you see winning this game? I think it's going to be Duke.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think Duke is the better team here, and generally the better team wins. Although sometimes they get upsets, but I think Duke's going to win.
I'd agree with you. Then a bye week, and then Pittsburgh at home. I think Pittsburgh. I've never really been too big on them. They're a decent team. Okay. I think that Virginia. I think Virginia. No, I think Pittsburgh will win this game. It'll be close though. Anything you want to say?
Actually, I'm going to have to disagree with you here. I'm going to say Virginia wins this one. I think it would be a better game for them coming back from the bye week after a loss, learn some things, get better, and then win the next game.
Next game is North Carolina. Too tough. They made it all the way to the ACC championship last year and lost to Clemson. Do you see Virginia somehow pulling this out?
One of the main big teams in the ACC, especially the biggest in the Coastal. I don't see Virginia winning this game against a good team.
Neither really do I. Next up is Louisville. At home, Louisville, who has been a good team in recent history, not the greatest season last year. I think Virginia wins this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I say Virginia wins this one too. So that would make them have actually a pretty good record this time. It's like don't know what it is, but.
And interestingly, our FSU insider, Carson, just said no. Next up, at Wake Forest. Wake Forest is a lousy team. Can't get it done. Even though this is a matchup of lousy teams. Wake Forest. You know what? It's at Wake Forest. I think Wake Forest wins this one. Anything you want to say on that?
I disagree with you there. Wake Forest is not going to pull this out. They're just not good enough.
Next up is Miami. Your Mark Richt. So is there still before we start this game? Is there a little bit of a Mark Richt hangover at Georgia?
Yeah, I don't know. Georgia's gonna have a tough time getting used to the defensive coach, which they haven't had in a long time. So it's gonna be difficult for them. But I think Mark Richt's gonna be good at Miami, and I'm gonna say Miami wins.
I'm going to have to say Miami, too. Miami, a very solid team. Next up, at Georgia Tech. I mean, come on, guys. I think Tech wins this game. I think Tech will rebound this season, but we'll save that for later. I think you would agree with me.
I do.
Then a rivalry game against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech has had some good years in the past. Like, last year,
They beat Georgia Tech.
Yes, they did. Their coach, though, retired, so that'll be interesting to see. I think Virginia Tech wins this game. I'm not. Would you like to say anything?
No, I agree with you. The Virginia Tech's just a better team. There's not much more to say.
Next up, we have the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. If you can find over there. So, Georgia Tech starting out with Boston College in Dublin, Ireland at 7:30 a.m. Do you think okay, so first we're going to talk about Georgia Tech a little. Obviously they had that 2014 season that was just great for them. I'm a Tech fan. So happy about that. And then last season, just a huge disappointment. But they got a senior quarterback in Justin Thompson. I think is a great player. Not the best quarterback, but a great all-around player. And ninth year coach, Paul Johnson. This is a very interesting team. I think they're gonna have a better year this year. Well, so we're gonna start out with Boston College in Dublin, Ireland, like we said. Do you see Georgia Tech win this? I do, as we talked about. We'll talk about Boston College later, but we have some things to say about them. So, do you see Tech winning this game?
Yeah, it was that comment about you with the coach. I'm surprised they haven't switched in so long. But at Boston College,
Not at Boston College, at Dublin, Ireland.
oh yeah, at Boston College.
Next up is Mercer, right here. We live very close. Mercer, not a football school, basketball school, not a football school. I think Tech wins this game. I'm not gonna ask you about that. Next up is Vanderbilt, an SEC matchup. Interesting. I think we both had Tech winning though when we did our SEC predictions.
I want to say Vanderbilt wins, but it's just not gonna happen.
Yep, and then we got first conference game that's actually at a conference stadium, not in Ireland. First conference game in America is Clemson, who, as we all know, lost in the national championship to Alabama, a very, very good team. I think Tech puts up a fight. I'm not saying they win or lose. I'm gonna leave that blank, but I think Tech puts up a really good fight. What are you going to say?
I'm guessing it's too painful for you to have them on their first loss, but no, I say Clemson just destroys Tech.
Well, I heard on the radio actually. It was very interesting. They were talking like so there's that rivalry between Georgia, South Carolina. Well, Tech is kind of like Georgia, South Carolina. I mean, Tech is kind of like Clemson, South Carolina. So it's interesting. I think Tech puts up a fight. Like I said, I'm not gonna predict that one, even though I think I have a prediction in my mind. Next up is Miami. It's Miami. So do you see? This is a tough game, but I think Tech wins this game. I think Tech's a very, very solid team this year. Might just be my heart, but I think they are. What do you say?
I don't say so. I think Miami wins with the new coach. They're going to be a better team than they have been for a while, and I think they're going to beat Tech and get a pretty good year.
Interesting. Next up is Pittsburgh, who we already talked about at Pittsburgh, but I think Tech's a better team than Virginia. I think Tech will beat Pittsburgh. What do you say?
Yeah, I think Pitt loses. And then Tech, with already 2 losses, goes on to Georgia Southern, and I think you'll agree with me. Georgia Southern, not a good enough team to beat Tech.
Well, Georgia Southern is a very, very solid program. As you remember last year, I believe it was 9-4 with the bowl game, something like that. Mm-hmm. So a very good team, but I think Tech wins this game. Next, a bye, and then we have Duke. At Georgia Tech. This will be an interesting game. Kind of another rivalry game. I think Tech wins. I think they get revenge on the last game Duke played here, where they upset really Tech's title hopes almost. What would you say?
I say Duke wins this again. I don't know. They've had 2 easier games, and then to the bye week to Duke, and I think Duke wins.
Interesting. Next up is North Carolina. So this is where it starts getting really hard. North Carolina, a very good team at North Carolina. Unfortunately, I gotta say, I just can't see them pulling this out. This is just such a tough team. I can't see it, especially at North Carolina. So,
I'd
anything?
agree with you there. And then Virginia Tech, who beat Tech last year by I think it was like 2 or 3 points. That was a very good game, but I think Virginia Tech will win.
Yeah, no. You were at the game. I think that first of all, the game was not 2 or 3 points. Actually, yes, it was. It was 2 points. Um, I got it. I can't. Virginia Tech's just not a solid team. I gotta go with, I gotta go with Tech there. But the question is, which Tech? I'm gonna go with GT. Next up is Virginia, who we talked about already. Who do you think wins that game? I think we both had Tech winning that game. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe we did. And then Georgia Tech.
The old hate game. You know what? Remember last time at Georgia? No one thought Tech had a chance. You were at the game. And guess what? Yo, boys got fried.
53-yard field goal.
Yeah, I think, you know what? It's a rivalry game. Magic happens. I'm going with Tech, believe it or not. I might be a little bit biased, but I mean, I'm going to go with Tech. Okay, so
Quite a bit biased, I should say. I just don't see Tech pulling out this game at all.
next up we got Virginia Tech, a decent team. Well, I'm just kidding. Not a decent team. I just said they weren't. So, they're gonna have the weird helmets this year. I find that kind of funny. Up first, Liberty University. Liberty. No, sorry. I'm not gonna ask you about that. Tennessee and Bristol. You know what? Tennessee wins this game. Anything you want to say about that?
In 2 videos ago, I think we covered this. Tennessee going to be a good team this year and going to beat Virginia Tech.
Interesting. I gotta say, I don't know. I think Virginia Tech puts up a good fight, but I think Tennessee wins this game. Yeah. Next up is Boston College at home. Boston College is not a complete team. I think you'll agree with me that Virginia Tech wins this game. Next up, East Carolina. And East Carolina has been a solid team in recent history. What do you want to say about that?
No. East Carolina doesn't. They don't stand a chance.
Well, East Carolina 2 years ago pulled off an upset, and Virginia Tech was ranked 17 in the country. Next up, we have a bye week, and then North Carolina. North Carolina, who we already said, this is at North Carolina, a very, very, very good team that I don't think Virginia Tech has a chance at this game.
I think they run away with this game. And then next to Syracuse, who has been good at basketball, but football's just not their sport.
Football really isn't. They had some good games last year. I just don't see Syracuse winning that. Next up, your Miami Hurricanes on a Thursday. I think Miami wins this game. I think you'll agree with me.
I'm picking my Canes for the 3rd time.
Next up is Pittsburgh. By the way, this is back-to-back Thursday games. Kind of interesting. I'm gonna go with Pitt. I'm sorry, Tech fans, Virginia Tech fans. This is not a complete team. Would you agree with me?
No, I'm actually gonna pick Virginia Tech to win this game. Good solid team. Were okay last year, and they're gonna beat Pitt.
Interesting. Next up is Duke at Duke, and right here, I actually think this is an upset. I think Duke wins this game. I think Virginia Tech wins this game. 2 years ago, that's actually the reason that Tech got into the ACC championship 2 years ago against Florida State was because Virginia Tech beat Duke. At Duke, I think Virginia Tech wins this game. What do you want to say about that?
No, I still think Duke's gonna win this game. I don't know why. I just can't picture Virginia Tech winning this.
Next up is Georgia Tech, which I believe we both had Tech winning. Well, Georgia Tech winning. Um, Next up is at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a very tough team, kind of like a part-time member of the conference, not a full member yet. Could possibly be a full member soon. Notre Dame, at Notre Dame in South Bend. This is a very good team. I can't see Virginia Tech winning this game.
You know what? I'm going with the upset here.
Wow, that's bold. Next up is Virginia, which I believe we had Virginia winning, didn't we?
I think we had Virginia Tech. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think I had. I might have. I might have had either. Next up is. I think we're gonna go with. You know what? Let's go with your Miami Hurricanes. A good team, new coach. Starting out with Florida A&M. I think that's a win. Then Florida Atlantic, and Appalachian State. So a very well. We're not going to talk individually, but an incredibly easy non-conference schedule. Am I right?
Yeah, I believe so. It cruises through those first 3 games, and then to Georgia Tech.
After the bye week, yeah, at Georgia Tech, which I believe I had. I believe I had my Techies winning.
I thought you had the Canes.
No, you had the Canes. So then, then Florida State comes to town and plays them, and we are going to ask our insider about that. Who do you see winning this game, Florida State or Miami? At Miami.
Well, there are a couple different things that could affect this game. First of all, Miami is getting a new coach, which can mean a year of transition where they're not that good, and they're just trying things out. And Florida State, who is trying to find a good quarterback, they don't really have one right now.
Well, Sean McGuire, quarterback, I think might be quarterback. I don't know. It's not for sure. But so next up, North Carolina. UNC runs over them. I mean, come on. I'm really high on UNC. I think they do well. We'll cover them last.
Wait, did we ever make a pick on Florida State?
Yes, we didn't. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see. You know what? Miami winning. Miami.
As much as I like Miami, I have to disagree with you. I pick Florida State here.
Huh? I think Miami will come out with some fire. Week 1. Then we said North Carolina. I believe North Carolina runs over them. Mm-hmm. Home game or not, North Carolina is just a great team. Unless, no, never mind. So that'll be interesting. Who do you see winning the game?
I'm gonna say Miami puts up a fight. North Carolina too good a team though.
And then we have the Canes, playing the Virginia Tech, who I believe we both had the Canes winning that game. Mm-hmm. Next up is at Notre Dame, another ACC Notre Dame game. Oh, this is gonna be good. I think it's gonna be a very close game, and this is the time where I'm gonna go with the upset. I don't know about you.
You know what? I'm going with the Canes. Yeah, I agree with you.
Very interesting. Next up is Pittsburgh. Oh yeah, and by the way, we will likely do a smaller Georgia teams preview and like a Notre Dame. We'll probably squeeze in there somewhere, since they're big enough. Next up is Pittsburgh, a good team, very good team that I'm just not too high on this year. I believe we had no, we didn't predict it, but I think this is a win for the Canes.
Yeah, just Pitt's not a great team. All around, they're decent on everything, but they're not good on anything.
So next up we have at Virginia, which will be an interesting game. I do believe we both had Miami winning this. Is that correct?
I believe so. And then NC State, a good team, but
decent. Yeah. So I think Miami wins this game too.
Yeah, I believe so too. And then to Duke, and
remember what happened last year? I don't know if you remember the crazy lateral play, 100 yards, something like that. It was
crazy.
It was insane. This is Duke. Yeah, our Florida State insider just said that's a bad call. Just to give you some feedback. Next, so we have Duke. So I think Miami wins this game. I kind of like Miami this year.
Yeah, me too. I like them in this game. Just to beat Duke to close out the season. Going, I think only 2 losses we had them.
Yeah, next up is next team we are going to do um we're going to do the the Pittsburgh Panthers. Pittsburgh Panthers, a team I've already said countless times in this video. I just don't see them being that great this year. I like the team, but I just don't see it. So what do you starting off with Villanova, very, very, very good basketball school, a very, very bad football school. I think you'd agree with me. Next up, not at Penn State comes to Pittsburgh. Penn State has a Big Ten team. I think Penn State wins this game.
I'll have to disagree with you. Just Pitt winning this game. We'll see them to the OSU game, and we'll see how that turns out.
Interesting. Next up, so yeah, I believe you said that OSU game like Oklahoma State. At Oklahoma State, Oklahoma State can be a good team. I think they win this game. Would you agree?
Yeah, I like Oklahoma in this game, especially since it's a home game. And then to another difficult away game at North Carolina. As we said, going to be a good team this year. North Carolina, Pitt just doesn't have the juice to beat them.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. Then we have the Marshall Thundering Herd, which, if you remember last year, I believe they had an undefeated season. Not last year, but like the year before, they had an undefeated season until the last game. They lost that one. Marshall can be a very good team. I think Pitt wins this game anyway. Would you agree?
I agree. Just Marshall not showing up this game.
I think and then next up at Tech, Georgia Tech. I think we both had Georgia Tech winning this game, right? Is that correct?
I believe we did. And then to Virginia, which I think I had Virginia winning this game.
Really? I think
Could have gone either way, but
yeah, I think I had them too, yeah. Next up, a bye week, and then heading into Georgia Tech, which I believe I had Georgia Tech winning. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think Georgia Tech's gonna be a tough game this year, and Georgia Tech's gonna win.
Next up is for them is Duke. The blue.
No, that's the wrong schedule.
Okay. Are you sure?
No, it's Virginia Tech.
No. It's yeah. Okay. So then Virginia Tech, difficult team. After a bye week, I think this is a game that I think this is a game that Pitt wins. I think I had that, didn't you?
Actually, I think I had Virginia Tech winning, and then to Miami, which I think we both had Miami winning this.
And then we got at Clemson. We will cover in our next video, since they're ACC Atlantic. So what do you? I think Clemson wins this game. It's at Clemson. Pitt doesn't have the skills.
Yeah, I agree. There's not much to say on that.
Next up is Duke. This will be interesting. I think last time, I remember, I don't know if it was last year, I think it was the last time, 2 years ago, when Duke played Pittsburgh. It went to double overtime, and the Pittsburgh kicker missed like a 20-yard field goal, and it was kind of for the win. It's kind of funny and ironic. You know what the kicker's name was? Blew it. So yeah, he really did blow it.
I think you'll agree with me. This is going to be a very tough game for both teams. I see Duke pulling out with this game.
Yes, I think so. I think so too. Duke is a pretty good team this year. Now Syracuse, like we said, basketball school, not a football school. I think Pittsburgh wins this game. And next up, we are going to move to Duke. Actually,
Been over them several times.
yeah. Starting out with North Carolina Central, a decent basketball school, not a football school. They're both laughing. You know what? If you pick, you know what? If you pick Cannon, if you pick NC Central, and they win, I'm gonna buy you an NC Central shirt and hat and game used shorts or something. I don't know. So, what do you say?
You know what? Let's go with the shirt, NC Central.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Duke. Next up is Wake Forest. Just doesn't have the goods. A big rivalry game at Wake Forest. I mean, not in at Duke. I think Duke starts 2-0, and then at Northwestern. Who are gonna be a very tough team. Was very tough last year. A very good team. What do you like to say about that?
No, Northwestern. I don't even know what state they're from.
Wow, that's actually very sad. They were a top 25 team last year. Shows how little this guy knows about the Big Ten. Purely Southern and Coastal. Next up is I'm gonna go with Northwestern actually. I think Northwestern's a good team. Next up at Notre Dame, another Notre Dame mention. I think Notre Dame wins this game. I think we've both had Notre Dame being upset twice. But well, you have. I think I had Notre Dame beating Virginia Tech. So what do you see in this one?
Yeah, I think Notre Dame's going to be start with fire in the beginning of their season, and they're going to beat Duke, but then later they're going to ease off and not going to be as good.
Okay, so very interesting. Then against Virginia, so the Cavaliers. I think we went over this. Who did we have winning? I do think we had Virginia winning. No, did we have Virginia winning?
No, we had Duke.
Okay, yeah, Duke. Okay, then Army University, West Point, team with a lot of good military members, not a lot of good football players. I think this goes to Duke. Next up,
You know
Louis.
what? I'm going to go with the upset there. I'm
Wow.
going to pick Army over Duke.
Wow, that's bold. So you have NC State and Army both beating Duke. That's incredible. Now at Louisville. Louisville's too good a team. I kind of like Louisville this year. What would you say?
I'm going to pick Duke there. I disagree with you.
You're really confusing me. Then a bye week, and then Georgia Tech, who I believe I had Tech beating Duke. I think they had to get revenge. What do you say?
I had Duke winning.
You probably did. Then we have Virginia Tech. I think we had Duke winning this game.
Yeah, I believe so. And then to North Carolina, which isn't going to be
A huge rivalry though. A huge rivalry, especially in basketball. I think you know what? I think North Carolina wins this game, even though I think Duke puts up a fight.
It's surprising to me how Duke can be a decent football team and a good basketball team, too.
Well, in recent history. Next up is at Pittsburgh. I believe we had we just covered this. Who did we have winning this game?
I think we had Duke winning. Actually, I had Pitt.
I think
I
I
had
had
the upset.
I think I had Duke. Next up and last of the season at Miami. Miami. I think we both had Miami winning this game. Miami is just too
I
tough
believe so.
team.
I think it would be really strange if Miami played Georgia.
Yeah. Well, that could happen potentially in a bowl game. I think it could. I think it might. That's my prediction. I think Miami and Georgia will play in some kind of bowl game. And next up, we are on our last team, I believe, with North Carolina.
Yeah, it should be the last team.
Yep, it is. As we've been saying all through the broadcast, North Carolina just an elite team. This team is not going to be beaten.
In our last video in the SEC East, we both had Georgia beating North Carolina.
No, I think I had them losing because remember, Through 4 games.
I don't think so.
Through 4 games, I had the only game I had them win through the first 4 games was against Nichols. Which, guys, come on, give us some likes so I can buy him the shirt. Next up is at Illinois. Illinois, Big Ten team. I think it'll be respectable, but I think North Carolina wins this game.
Yeah, I believe so. And then James Madison.
James Madison, nah. I think this is a win for North Carolina. Then at Pitt, which I believe we had North Carolina earning over Pitt. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Now to Florida State. Carson, want to make any comments on this?
Florida State's got to win.
Nice comment.
But like a true spokesperson.
They're too good.
At Florida State, you know what? This is the one loss I have for North Carolina. The one loss, I have to agree, at Florida State, that's going to be really tough.
No, I'm putting Florida State on this too. And then to Virginia Tech, and we had them losing, and then we had Miami. We had Miami losing, and then we had Virginia. We had Virginia losing.
So, yeah, I think Duke, I think North Carolina is just a really good team this year. Then, schedule's open, and, I believe I mean a bye, and then...
over this yet.
No, we went over Tech. I believe this is like my one loss that I truly said for Tech. I think you had them losing too.
You wanted to say Clemson win, but so yeah, I think North Carolina beats Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Techies. It's tough. Next up at Duke, who I believe we had North Carolina winning both, or at least I did. Oh, no, did you have the upset?
I think I did.
Then we have. Why are you laughing on the floor? The Citadel. The Bulldogs. My dad actually had a friend who went to the Citadel. I think he dropped out after one day because he hated it. So, military school, a lot of good cadets, not a lot of good football players, just like I said about Army. So I think this is a win.
You'd think that the Army schools would have better football players.
They have better Battle Frog players. So I think they beat the Citadel. And then against NC State, who we'll cover next time, this is a win for North Carolina.
Yeah.
So would you say so?
Yeah, just rivalry. NC comes out with fire, and it's going to be one of their better games.
So yeah, that's going to take us to the end of our broadcast. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope you come back for next time. Check out our SEC videos. This is Kai and Ken and Carson from Arguably Georgia Sports. See you next time.